Hello everyone, hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Good morning everyone, just give me a second. So, how are you people? How is everything going? I'm just searching for my ticker. I got my ticker. Okay, so let's start today's discussion without wasting any time. Today is 23rd July 2025 and good morning Liliana, Anandu, Madhvi, Anuj, Madhu, Bala, Shiparna, Manvi, Nitin, Danish, Shashmita. So, Hindu Analysis 23rd July 2025. I will share this particular PDF along with the answer of these MCQs in my Telegram channel Fun Study with Shubh. You can download it from there. And yeah. Hello. Oh my God. I'm listening to my own voice. Just give me a second. So yes, sir. Yesterday I gave you I think 3 questions. And we have talked about these questions. I think MCQ 12 you people solved it. All of you solved it. Nisar will be launched aboard which of the following launch vehicles? Nisar, NASA, ISRO, synthetic aperture radar. What is SAR? We have talked about it. The answer is GSLV F-16, right? Good morning, Vilakshan, MCQ 12. Then we have seen this PYQ 13 UPSC 2023 and which was related to chief purpose of constitution of a country. And the purpose is to define the limit in power. Constitution in a way is limiting the power of the government. If there is no constitution, they can make anything and everything. Government will become very powerful. Like in United Kingdom, you don't have a written constitution there. So the government there is very powerful. Oh my God. Somebody asked me to define or explain option number D. It secures social justice, social equality and social security. See, it does that. In fact, there is a portion of constitution which is DPSP, which focuses on that, which focuses on this D option, social justice, social equality and social security. It's a part of it. But all in all, what is the basic purpose of constitution? To limit the power of government so that government doesn't become too powerful. Oh my God. Good morning, GYN. PYQ 14, which was asked in UPSC 2023, in which of the following region was Dhanyakataka, which flourished as a prominent Buddhist center under the Mahasanghikas? When you will read post-Mauryan period, 200 BCE to 300 AD, then you will read about after the decline of Mauryans, in central India, there was a kingdom which flourished. That kingdom was known as Satavahanas. Satavahanas, they are also known as Lord of Dakshin Path because they ruled a major portion of southern India. Their major capital was Paithan or Pratisthana, which is in Maharashtra. But their other capital for a small period of time was Dhanyakataka, which is near Amaravati in Andhra Pradesh, so Andhra region. They also patronized Amaravati School of Art along with Ichhuaku dynasty, Shatavahanas and Ichhuaku. So again, 12th answer is B. And 13th answer is C, 14th answer is A, that is Andhra. Hope you understood all of these things. Good morning, Nisha. Have a wonderful day to you also. Cool. Satavahanas. Pratisthana was their capital. Near Amaravati, there is a place called as Dhanyakataka. Oh my God. And UPSC asked a question on it. Oh my God. UPSC asked a question on it in 2023. Let's come back to the present now. So as I've shown you people yesterday and everything, like there was a skin and my doctor was like, it has to be cut apart so that new skin can grow. So he cut my old skin and that felt very bad because it was a big old skin and now I cannot even do my fingerprint scanning. Page number 10, first article of the day, redeeming India's nuclear power promise. Now there's a question for you people. So please explain the 14th question. GYN. Sister of Vatsayan, I just told you everything. We had a detailed discussion on this. Dhanyakataka, it was one of the capital of Satavahanas, which ruled during the post-Mauryan period in central India. Their capital for major period was Pratisthana or Paithan in Maharashtra. Their other capital was Dhanyakataka near Amaravati. They also gave patronage to Amaravati School of Art, which represented Buddha in both human as well as symbolic form, anthropomorphic form as well as symbolic form. When you read post-Mauryan period, you read Amaravati School of Art, you read Mathura School of Art, which was given patronage by Kushana ruler Kanishka. You read Gandhara School of Art. Oh my God. Hope you understood it. And you can watch there is another like crash course video of mine. You can have a look at that. Cool. Good morning, Kharbadon. So let's move on. And let's talk about this article. Again, this article involves lots of technical word, nuclear energy. So our Honorable PM Sir, he has aimed that India will become developed country by 2047, 100 years of independence. That is not the only aim we have for 2047. We also want to generate 100 gigawatt of nuclear power energy by 2047. Currently, we are hovering around 8 gigawatt. So, what is the target? The target is, oh my god, pardon my doctor-like handwriting. The target is 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047. How much we have currently? Around 8 gigawatt, if I'm not wrong. 8.18 gigawatt. So we see, always set ambitious target that we can learn from our Honorable PM Sir. You know, even if you don't reach 100, at least we will reach 70. If you set a target of 50, you will reach 30. So Honorable PM Sir always has a vision in mind. So we will become a developed nation by 2047. We want to achieve 100 gigawatt of nuclear power energy by 2047 because we have another aim that we have to become a net zero emission country by 2070. What does net zero emission means? You see so much pollution, so much GHG emission, greenhouse gas emission. We want to reduce it to zero. The amount we are releasing, the same amount is being absorbed by plants and trees and vegetations, etc. So net zero emission or clean energy we should produce. Now there is one very interesting point here. God bless you, dear sir. Thank you, Nisha. So okay. So Malini, Venkat, good morning here. Now let's focus here. I wanted to tell you something. You people make me blush. So nuclear power. Now there is a very interesting question. Tell me one thing. Is nuclear energy renewable or non-renewable? This article, once you get a hang of it, you'll be like, oh my god, I'm getting intellectual orgasm, if that is a word, because you will gain so much knowledge here. So first of all, is nuclear energy renewable or non-renewable? What is your view on that? Chepandis? Nuclear energy, renewable or non-renewable? Renewable, which can be, which will go on till, which will remain till eternity. We can keep on using it, solar energy, wind energy. So renewable. Non-renewable, which will end after a particular period of time. Coal, petroleum, all these. So what is nuclear energy? Good morning, Shaida. So as Venkat and Shashmita are saying, nuclear energy is non-renewable energy. It's not a renewable energy. Many people, they have this particular confusion that nuclear energy is renewable. This is wrong, so wrong. Nuclear energy non-renewable. Why? Because the raw material which you are using, uranium, thorium, etc., they are in limited quantity. They will not remain forever. So it's a non-renewable energy, but non-renewable but low carbon. Do remember these things, and that's why we are focusing on it. It's non-renewable, but it is low carbon. It emits lesser GHGs, very less. So that's why we are focusing more on this particular thing. Cool. So non-renewable. Do remember everybody else? Athira answered it, Nitin, Evangeline, and Madhvi and Jivayan. It's non-renewable. It's not renewable. So let's have a look at this article. India targets 100 gigawatt nuclear power capacity by 2047, the year in which India will become developed. From 8.18 gigawatt, because we believe in setting ambitious targets. And again, we have discussed developed nation 2047, net zero emission by 2017. Please remember these facts. Like, what is our nuclear power? It means aim for 2047, net zero emission by which particular year? This question has been asked by multiple exams and they can always reframe this. But it is highly radioactive, sir. Yes, that's why you have something known as Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act. It has issues, and that's why we'll talk about some small modular reactor. So again, there are certain keywords here. We don't need to do it like PhD here, but even if you don't do PhD, you will do some amount of PhD because there are so many terms. So small modular reactor. Now, there are so many developed countries in the world, Canada, US, etc., which are focusing from PHWR. Again, please, just listen. There was one comment I was seeing yesterday of a Kannada guy who was like, sir, I love your classes, but it's too fast. You can watch it at 0.75 or 0.5. And also, please, initially everything will look very tough. Even when I'm seeing this article, I was like, oh my God, so many technical words. But once you start, solve questions at the end, we'll solve 3-4 questions based on this article. Everything will become crystal clear. So be with me. So now, India currently uses PHWR, Pressurized Heavy Water Reactor. And slowly and gradually, we want to move towards small modular reactor. Not all PHWR will be converted to small modular reactor. Now, we have to understand these terms. What is PHWR? What is small modular reactor? What is the difference between them? Why there is a push by different countries like US, Canada, and now India also? In our current budget, we have allocated, you can see how much money towards SMR. Oh my God, what is there in SMR which is not there in PHWR? That's what she said. Okay, let's focus here. Let me give you a comparative analysis and then we'll come back here. So PHWR, pressurized heavy water reactor, which we are using currently. SMR, small modular reactor. As the name suggests, small modular reactor is smaller in shape. You know, it's much smaller compared to PHWR. So nuclear power plants, let's say you're seeing in Kundankulam or Kakrapada or Naroda. So they have PHWR, they are big plants occupying so much acre of area. Unlike PHWR, these small modular reactor, they can be, factory built, modular design, assembled. You can bring them to a particular site, you can assemble them there. So it's smaller in size. If it's smaller in size, initial price is currently high, but slowly and gradually the price means the price which we are using or which will be incurring to produce nuclear energy, that will be lower. Also, compared to PHWR, if a nuclear plant is bigger, as somebody was saying, Venkat was saying, highly radioactive, it's a bigger plant, radioactivity risk is higher compared to SMR, which is smaller in nature, producing lesser energy, and that's why the radioactivity or radioactive risk will be lower. So that's why government is focusing towards SMR. You see PHWR, now there is a limitation here also. So SMR can produce 50 to 300 megawatt of nuclear energy. You don't have to do PhD here. Just listen to me. So there will be, you can see here PHWR, their range is 220 megawatt to 700 megawatt. So let's say PHWR lesser than 300 megawatt, they can be converted to SMR. They are easier to construct. They require lesser, nuclear liability, this and that, cheaper comparatively. So there are multiple reasons why different governments across the world, they are moving from PHWR to SMR. But not all PHWR will be converted or can be converted to SMR, because SMR limit is 300 megawatt, PHWR limit is 700 megawatt. So the bigger PHWR greater than 300 megawatt, they will remain as they are. But if they are smaller PHWR, it's easier, it's feasible, it's sustainable if you are shifting from PHWR to SMR. Hope you're understanding some part of it. Pink energy, oh my God. So again, you can see all the points here. Technology. Now, India currently has maximum PHWR, and we want to move towards more and more SMR. We are not going to replace all of them. Slowly and gradually things will happen. Now here, there are again certain terms. What are those terms? This PHWR, they use natural uranium. For understanding this, we have to understand different terms. Fission reaction, fusion reaction. What happens in natural fission? Like these nuclear energy plants, they run on nuclear fission. So there is a higher radioactive material, let's say uranium or thorium, mainly uranium or plutonium. So uranium will break apart into different smaller elements, thereby releasing neutrons and energy. These neutrons will keep on interacting with other smaller atoms, thereby producing more energy. So this is how fission works. Unlike fusion reaction, which is there in sun, or hydrogen bomb, atomic bomb is nuclear fission. So in fusion reaction, you have two hydrogen atoms, they come together, produce helium and enormous amount of energy. Commercially, we have not been able to tap nuclear fusion to its fullest. Please remember, in these PHWR, SMR, we are using nuclear fission reaction. Cool. Now what we have discussed, like the fuel type, natural uranium. Here, see, there are different reactors where you have to enrich uranium. Uranium has different types of isotopes. See, there are so many technical words here. So isotope, isobar. So uranium 235, 238. Sometimes you will need enriched uranium, which can function properly in a nuclear reactor. That is not the case with PHWR. They take natural uranium as raw material and produce energy. Unlike SMR, which require enriched uranium. That means here you have to, increase the concentration of uranium in that isotope, whatever isotope you are using. So that's why we were saying that initially the cost will be high, but since this is smaller in size, producing lesser amount of energy, so the cost will reduce, plus it will be more, lesser risk or more risk compliant, so to say. Okay, so do remember these facts. What fuel type they use? Natural uranium, enriched uranium. Then there are other terms, moderator and coolant. What these words mean? Moderator, as we have discussed how fission reaction works, so you have uranium, it will break apart into smaller elements, thereby releasing neutrons. These will again interact with other atoms. So sometimes the speed of neutron is very high. To lessen or reduce the speed of neutrons, you have something known as moderator, which is heavy water. Sometimes you even use graphite as a moderator. Now coolant, what is coolant? And again, these are very easy to understand. In so many different exams, they ask you what is the basic purpose of You are so cute. Oh my God, let's not do these things right now. Thank you, Ankita. So, what we were discussing, coolant. Coolant is what? Moderator, as you can understand. Moderator, moderate. It will moderate the speed. Coolant, it will cool. So, there is a lot of energy which is being released in this reaction, nuclear fission reaction. You have to, cool it up. Or you have to transfer that energy. That is being done by coolant, D2O. And again, here also different coolants will be used. For exam purpose, do understand the meaning of these words. What is moderator, what is coolant, and what is fission, what is fusion, how PHWR is different from SMR. Now let's go back to the article. Hope you understood some part of it. Did you understand some part of it? Chepandis, how can someone be? What is happening here? Please don't do this. I will blush and blush and blush and will die by blushing. So small modular reactors. Now government is focusing on small modular reactor because we are concerned about, nuclear leakage and this and that. Plus this is the future. This looks like a future small modular reactor, easier to build. Cool. So where were we? Private sector involvement. Now, please understand, currently nuclear energy is mostly government controlled. So there has to be some changes. If you want to bring small modular reactor and we want to bring into picture Adani, Ambani, and all those big companies who will be doing all these creation of small modular reactor, then there has to be some change in Atomic Energy Act 1962 and Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act 2010. Especially Atomic Energy Act 1962, they have these provisions where they allow limited, if not zero, participation for private player in nuclear energy. That has to be changed. That's what the author is saying. Very good. Cool. So now, this is a very tricky article. When I was reading it, I was like, my head will burst. But I was like, no, I have to tell this to students. That's why they are coming to attend my classes. Historical context. India began its nuclear program early. Apsara in 1956. What is Apsara? Is it a, movie theater where people go and watch stupid movies? No. Apsara was a research reactor. Research nuclear reactor. So what does research reactor means and how does the research nuclear reactor of Apsara is different from the Tarapur reactor? So Tarapur, Apsara, they both are in Maharashtra if I'm not wrong. So this was a research reactor. We were researching how nuclear energy will work, how it will produce energy, but we are not using it for commercial electricity production. That's what happened in Tarapur. So do remember these, how Apsara is different from Tarapur. Apsara, Chepandis. Cool. So again, face setback. So these things started in 60s. Then 1974, we did PNA test, peaceful use of nuclear energy. We were saying peaceful use of nuclear energy, but we showed world that we are capable of making nuclear missiles and all those stuff. And that's why in the same year, 1974, this particular organization, NSG, was created, 1974. Nuclear Suppliers Group, where they put restrictions on different countries which are using nuclear energy for military purposes rather than civilian purposes. We said it is a peaceful test, but it was not peaceful. Oh my God. But we had to say that, right? Indigenous development of PHWR, pressurized heavy water reactor, we have just discussed and what they are. Cool. Post 1998 and waiver, we are doing good now. US has helped us. In early 2000, we had a deal with US. So that allowed that we got the raw material which we need for making nuclear energy in simple terms. Now, for India to reach blah, 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 you can read this thing. Current power mix, like let's say we are producing 100 megawatt of energy right now. So 50 is coming from fossil fuel, 50 is coming from renewable energy. It looks like an awesome figure for you, but this is not. Our renewable energy is very intermittent. Solar energy, you have it in day, you don't have it in night. So this intermittency is a problem. That's what author is saying. And that's why more and more people, government is looking towards nuclear energy. Although it is non-renewable, but it is clean. And up until we know how to tap solar, wind, etc. to its fullest, we have to shift towards nuclear energy, although it has issues, Fukushima and all those things which happened in Japan and other areas. So we know even in Ukraine it happened. So, but we know there are issues, but we have to deal with it. What else we can do here? Cool. Commitment. COP26, COP28, Conference of Parties under UNFCCC. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So there we have made some commitment that I am committed to you. I will not look at any other girl ever. So no, not this kind of commitment. Commitment related to carbon emission. As we have discussed, we have a net zero emission target by which particular year? Chepandis in the comment section. We have net zero emission. We have made a target. That was made in UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. See, there was a Rio Summit, which is also known as Agenda 21. Like of 1992, via this Rio Summit, UPSC has already asked PYQs on this Rio Summit, 3 organizations cropped up. I think we have discussed this earlier. UNFCCC, UNCBD, Chepandis. Oh my God, I'm in such a good mood today. UNCCD, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, no, United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. All these three organizations are very important. So as you people are saying, 2070, very good, net zero emissions. So now out of these three organizations, UNFCCC, UNCBD, UNCCD, UNFCCC is very important. They keep on having talk related to reducing or, we have to reduce GHG emissions. Cool, sir. So again, Glasgow, this and that. Strategy for, oh my God, I'm stammering. Strategy for scaling nuclear energy. Three-pronged strategy. What India has to do, if you have to scale up our nuclear energy. Standardize and scale down 220 megawatt PHWR into SMR. We know that now because we know these are smaller pressurized heavy water reactor. If we convert them into moderator reactors, it is cheaper. It is environmental friendly, it is carrying lesser risk, and it's easier. But if it is greater than 300 megawatt, then expand 700 megawatt PHWR by easing land and regulatory hurdles. We know we need more land for making bigger pressurized heavy water reactor. For 700 megawatt, we cannot convert it into SMR because their capacity is up until 300 megawatt, right? So smaller PHWR, convert it into SMR. Bigger PHWR, get land and regulatory clearances, which takes its own sweet time in India because of, regulatory hurdles and multiple checks and this and that, and corruption as well. Escalate nuclear cooperation with France and US. They have helped. Indo-US nuclear deal, early 2000s. Manmohan Singh was the prime minister. He faced a lot of issues at that time. He was like, I will resign. There was a coalition government there. But then Indo-US nuclear deal happened. We got the raw material. So US and France, they are pioneer when it comes to these nuclear raw materials, and we can take their help. We should take their help. So these three strategies we should keep on doing as far as, oh my God, I was breathless. Shankar Mahadevan. I became Shankar Mahadevan when we are discussing this article. So vision of 100 gigawatt nuclear power. Good morning, Yuvraj. You remind me of a cricket player, Yuvraj Singh. 6 sixes. So vision of 100 gigawatt nuclear power by 2047 is feasible but demands urgent and comprehensive reforms. You can read this thing. This will help you in conclusion part of your GS mains paper 3, energy. Very important. And then there are so many other aspects here. Science and tech is involved to a greater extent. Let's solve some questions so that we can remember this in a much easier manner. Chepandis. Good morning, Gokul Raj. Good morning, Raghuram. Do keep me in your prayers. I'm such a drama king. Oh my God. See, I'm hearing my own voice. So yes, sir, which of the following correctly classifies nuclear energy? Renewable and carbon intensive, non-renewable and low carbon, renewable and low carbon, non-renewable and fossil fuel based. Chepandis. Oh, you people already Chepandis. Malini, Sriparna, Athira, Jeevayan, Anandu, Venkat, Hannah, Madhvi, Evangeline, Shaida, Kaizen. Good morning, Kaizen. Anuj, Shashmita, Liliana, Rajneesh, Raghu. So, nuclear energy is non-renewable. Why it is non-renewable? Because the raw material which you are using, uranium, thorium, is limited. That's why it is not renewable. So, eliminate renewable option. But it is also low carbon, and that's why we are focusing towards all these moderator reactor, etc. So, the answer is B, as stated by all of you. Awesome. It is non-renewable and low carbon. It is not fossil fuel based. Uranium, thorium, they are not fossil fuel. MCQ 2. In a nuclear reactor, what is the role of a moderator? And whenever you are answering, write 2 and the answer is what? So that it's become easier for me to understand which question you're answering, There's sometimes a time lag between I saying things and I'm seeing you people in front of me. So again, so many people answered it. Starting from Malini, Madhubala, Dhira, Evangeline, Anand, Sriparna, Shaita, Liliana, Danish, Anuj, Shiva and Madhvi. So the answer is to slow down neutrons for sustained fission, nuclear reactor. MCQ 3. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Nuclear fusion powers sun and the stars. Nuclear fusion requires light elements like hydrogen isotopes. Nuclear fusion has been successfully commercialized worldwide. And bros and their sisters, if you feel like I'm contributing anything to your knowledge, like, share, subscribe, kill it. So, my voice is gone. Madhvi has given the answer. Madhvi is a good girl. In our time, in our school, there was a senior. Her name was Madhvi Bharti. Every senior guy of our school loved her, but she did not love anyone back. She was a good girl. So, nuclear fusion powers sun and star. That is correct. First is correct. If first is correct, C option is gone. Nuclear fusion requires light elements like hydrogen isotopes. Does it? This is for nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion require uranium, like bigger, heavier isotopes, which breaks apart into smaller elements. So, second is wrong. If second is wrong, oh my god. If second is wrong, we don't even need to check for third. The answer is A, one only. Very good. So, who answered it? Nobody answered it. So many wrong answers here. So, who tried it? Madhvi, Danish, Evangeline, Liliana, Shriparna, Venkat, Anuj, Athira, Nitin, Anandu, Shashmita, Jiva and Rajneesh. Hope you are understanding what we are discussing here. Second is wrong. Nuclear fusion does not require hydrogen isotopes. That is a work of nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion requires bigger elements, uranium, etc. We have discussed the difference between fission and fusion. So, the answer is A. Very good. Cool. Let's move on to the next article of the day, written by Nirupma Roy ma'am. Oh my god, Nirupma Roy ma'am. And again, she is very famous. If you follow international affairs, you may have heard about her. China, India and the conflict of Buddhism. This is page 8. This is editorial. So now, this is a very interesting article actually. So they are talking about India, China. Are we two the best friends? No, we are not. So we are enemies. And it's all like when we talk about India and China, we talk about, Leh Ladakh and Galwan and fight and all. No. Nirupma Roy is saying that things have gone way beyond that. Now it's all about using Buddhism as a tool for, extending your influence in the region. What does she mean by that? So you may have heard about Dalai Lama and the successor part. So Dalai Lama. Lama is a concept of Vajrayana Buddhism. We have done this discussion earlier. We will extend this discussion today based on what Nirupma Roy ma'am is saying. So Vajrayana Buddhism, we have discussed Buddhism, like visa lame, eightfold path they talk about, Ashtangika Marg, visa lame. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation or right concentration. Visa lame. So now here Nirupma Roy ma'am is saying that when we are talking about Buddhism, then like here in Buddhism, you had initially Theravada or Hinayana Buddhism. Then it got divided into Stharviravadins, Mahasanghikas. Mahasanghikas later on got transformed into Mahayana Buddhism. From Mahayana Buddhism, you got this Vajrayana Buddhism. In this particular form of Buddhism, concept of guru is very important. They talked about different types of truths. One is conventional truth, other is absolute truth. And here the guru is known as Lama. So Dalai Lama, part of Vajrayana Buddhism. Now China is advocating their own successor of Dalai Lama. India is advocating its own. And now alliances will be built. There will be some countries which will be supporting the guru, which will be, in a way supported by China. And because Tibet has been captured by China. And in India, you have Dalai Lama, he will appoint his own successor. So now we will have two Lamas, we will have two gurus when it comes to Vajrayana Buddhism, one in India and one in China. That will lead to creation of different alliances, countries supporting China's Lama, countries supporting India's Lama. And this is where the world is going. Soft power will be dictating terms in not, long from now rather than the hard power. Good morning, Rishi. Take care, Rishi. Shashmita is very worried for you and I was consoling Shashmita. Don't be don't worry too much. Rishi will be fine because he's... So, okay, let's focus. So, hope you understood the crux of this particular issue. Shift in geopolitical focus while global attention is on India-China rivalry in the Indo-Pacific. You read this thing. So, now here she's talking about the influence of religion. How religion is going to shape India-China tussle. So, Buddhism, especially Himalayan Buddhism. And here, Himalayan Buddhism means Vajrayana Buddhism. Here, Himalayan Buddhism means the Buddhism revolving around Dalai Lama, Guru concept. So has become a strategic tool for influence in the India-China borderlands. Please, sir, revise previous Hindu analysis where we have talked about this whole thing, Vajrayana, etc. We'll talk about something more related to that as well. Cool. Guru. Like there is another Guru, his name is Guru Randhava. and he is also a very famous guru in our country, but that is not the guru we are talking about here. Monasteries, once spiritual and educational centers, are now strategic outposts. So you may feel like India is supporting Dalai Lama because we are, we give, like we support anyone and everyone if you are fleeing from your country, be it Jewish people or this and that. No, this has become a strategic game according to Nirupama Roy ma'am. Nirupama Roy. Since 1950s, China, in early 1950s, China captured Tibet. China got independence in 1949. Around 1949, we have discussed. And the China we talk about is People's Republic of China. The other group which fled away from mainland China and went to the island China, which is Taiwan, that is known as Republic of China. So do revise the previous Hindu analysis. So since 1950s, China has worked to control Tibetan Buddhism by marginalizing independent lamas or the guru concept. And again, you can see here the basic premise here is China is using Buddhist diplomacy. They will, talk about, or they will create one more independent lama who will not be having any relation with Dalai Lama, and let's see how the things unfold. Now, here Nirupama Roy is not very happy with India's response. She is talking about take a Rishi, come back as soon as possible. See, even GYN is worried about Rishi. Nirupama Roy ma'am is saying that India acted very late. You are using, even Buddhism is using as a soft power tool. And we could have talked about Buddhism from 1950s. Currently, we are talking about, we have different tourism schemes where we are promoting Buddhist side, this and that. This could have been started earlier in 1950s, 60s, where we could have promoted Buddhism hotspot and this and that. But we started late, according to Nirupama Roy ma'am. India hosted Dalai Lama and Tibetan exile government since 1959, but gained little strategic advantage. See, Buddhism is spread worldwide, unlike, let's say, Jainism. So we could have used it. Dalai Lama was staying here with us. We could have used it as a tool to mobilize all the Buddhist people who are spread here, there and world, like everywhere, against China. We did not do that, according to the Nirupama Roy ma'am. Only recently has India started promoting its Buddhist heritage and regional pilgrimages. We have started late, but better late than sorry. However, India's efforts are fragmented compared to China's centralized approach. Oh my God. But again, India will win. So, succession of Dalai Lama. The current Dalai Lama who turned 90 in July, but 90 is the new 50 for him. He plans to reincarnate outside Chinese territory, possibly in India. So again, the concept will continue in India. China will continue this Lama concept in China. Cool. Okay. So China insists on appointing its own Dalai Lama. This is expected to result in two rival Dalai Lamas, splitting loyalties. So Japan will support which Lama? Sri Lanka will support which Lama? These are the countries. Bhutan, they have sizable Buddhist population. Which Lama will they support? Oh my God. So geopolitical implications. Regions like Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh, even in Ladakh, you have a particular region, Tawang Valley. I was in Ladakh. I'm saying Ladakh and Arunachal, you have Tawang Valley. So I was in Arunachal, Itanagar. I so wanted to go to Tawang. I sometimes get distracted by my own things. Cool. So regions like these, you can see here, not only, internationally, even nationally, if you see Ladakh, Arunachal, Nepal, or nearby regions, Bhutan and Sikkim, they may face pressure to choose side. Which Lama you are supporting? Oh my God. A China-backed Dalai Lama could shift regional influence eastward. So you can see how Buddhism is being used as a tool to mobilize international or, to influence international relation. India-based spiritual leader may strengthen ties with New Delhi. So let's see where these countries go, and that will determine our international relation to a greater extent, according to Nirupama Roy ma'am. Thanks, GYNs. Rishi, let's do the sister brother thing later on. China's cultural assertion. China asserts territorial claims. We were talking about Tawang. I will go to Tawang. I have shown you people, I guess. So I was in Arunachal. So they give you inner line permit there. First for 1 month and then for a year. So this is my inner line pass. You can see. So I still have this inner line pass for 1 year. So I can go till December 2025. What is your view on inner line permit? There are so many states in our country like Arunachal where they have inner line permit. You can see my inner line permit. So do you think it creates division within us Indians, or you support it because tribal identity is unique and it has to be protected, preserved? What is your view on that? Chepandis. So again, you can see in Nepal, it invests in Buddhist sites like Lumbini. Here we're talking about China. In Bhutan, even though they don't have such good relation with Bhutan compared to us, they are still engaging in monastic communities. So Buddhism used as a tool to influence international relation. Soft power as hard power. In Himalayan region, soft power is the new hard power, according to Nirupama Roy ma'am. Again, you can read all these things. Now, Mongolia, Sri Lanka, they will be also forced to take side. We could have started this earlier. We could have, used Dalai Lama as a tool. I should not be saying this word, but we could have used Dalai Lama for our own advantage, strategic advantage. We did not, and now China is playing their cards. Cool. So again, India hosting the next Dalai Lama will bring both opportunity and diplomatic strain with China, because Buddhism is not just about religion now. The real strategic, you can read all these things. The real strategic frontier lies not in the seas, but in the high Himalayas. The future India-China rivalry could be defined not just by military might, but by spiritual legitimacy and religious allegiance. So let's see how these things unfold. It's a respect towards tribal identity. Debatable, sir. Cool. Now, MCQ 4. Which of the following best explains the statement? In the Himalayas, soft power is hot. Oh my God. Soft power is hard power. I think I will die if I keep on screaming like this. It has its own pros and cons. I can understand you, Shripanna. Tell me one thing. 57 watching, 34 likes. Why? So you people are understanding my conundrum. See my hand. 9 a.m. There are many Hindu analysis I have seen where they start from 9 a.m., 8 a.m. They will do previous day Hindu. I don't do that. 5 a.m. Oh my God. Please don't do that. 57 watching, 34 likes does not look cool. In Himalaya, soft power is hard power. Liliana, Shriparna, Hannah, Athira, Scarlett, Jivayan, Rishi, Shaida, Evangeline. It looks so angelic, this name. Danish, Rajneesh, Anush, Shashmita, Anandu, Madhvi, Vinchapu. Oh my God, our best friend Vinchapu is here. So in the Himalayas, soft power is hard power. Religious influence can be used to alter strategic loyalties in the region. That's what Nirupma Roy ma'am is stating. Very good. Now let me give you one PYQ which is related to Buddhism, asked by UPSC. Oh my God, UPSC was playing those years. Same question in 2014 and 2015. Just try it out. Don't worry, I will tell you everything. You will understand each and everything. From now onwards, I have decided one thing. I will never give you PYQs as homework. PYQs, all the PYQs which we'll be doing here in Hindu analysis only. Because if I give you PYQs, you are not able to solve it. So homework, I will give you those questions. Let's say we do 14 questions of the day. Homework will be those which I have taught you. So this question, try it out. I will give you the conceptual clarity. Your channel is very good. Thank you, Devika. So which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? Currently, we are saying, according to Nirupma Roy ma'am, Buddhism is used as a tool to influence international relations. So let's focus on Buddha. UPSC anyway loves Buddhism. Shriparna, Nitin, Evangeline, Rishi, Liliana, Jivayan, Anuj. See, when you people will become 18 plus and you will grow up, you will read about, 16 Mahajanpadas, second urbanization period. In 16 Mahajanpadas, you will see that, Buddha, born in Nepal, his mother was a Kaushal princess. So obviously, if his mother is Kaushal princess and it's very close to where he was born, so he is associated with the life of Kaushal. Obviously, he will go and meet his Nana Nani, that Nana ji, how are you? Kaushal is very close. Magad we know, he attained Nirvana, Bodh Gaya, Magad. Do we know anything about Avanti and Gandhara? For understanding this, you have to understand the map. You have to understand the 16 Mahajanpad. So if you see here, Kaushal, very close to Kaushal, you have Lumbini where, Gautam Buddha was born. And again, her mother, his mother rather, was a Kaushal princess. So he is close to Kaushal, he went to Kaushal. He went to Magad, we know Bodh Gaya, Nirvana. But there is no evidence that Buddha ever went to Avanti or Gandhara. At that time, there was no Rapido, Uber, Ola or bike or, four-wheeler. So Avanti, Gandhara, they are very far. Magad and Kaushal, they are associated with the life of Buddha. Kaushal from his mother's side, Magad from Nirvana side. So the answer is 3 and 4. C, 3 and 4 only. So that's how you eliminate option. Thank you, Prontoy. Love you so much. So the answer is C, 3 and 4. Same question. If UPSC repeats it 2 years in a row, never take it lightly. Oh my God. Okay. MCQ 6. This is not a PYQ. This is an MCQ based on what we have read in the first article related to nuclear energy. Small modular reactor. typically uses natural uranium as fuel. SMRs are factory built and can be assembled on site. India plans to develop at least 5 SMRs by 2033. Oh my God. Evangeline, Shashmita, Thira, Jeeva, Madhvi, Hannah, Venkatripana, Rishi, Liliana. All of you have answered it. SMR, they don't use natural uranium. That is being used by PHWR, pressurized heavy water reactor. SMR used enriched uranium. Oh my God. So this is wrong. First is wrong. Eliminate first. You got the answer. That is C2 and 3. SMR are factory built, can be assembled on site. India plans to develop at least 5 SMR by 2023 or 2033 rather, according to our budget. So all these are cool. Undeniably, you are great. 17 likes, my cutie, sir. You are, oh my God, thank you, Ankita. Why do I get, okay. So again, like, share and subscribe. Also one more thing, guys, if you're preparing for 26, 27, 28, prepare your optional wholeheartedly. Don't ignore your optional in any way, you know. Your optional will make or break your rank, UPSC rank. So prepare your optional. If you have any issues, you can go to StudyIQ.com and buy our optional course. I will tell you about that later on. So page number 13, poll panel has to hold election, and you can use my code SHS Live to get maximum discount on all courses. I had to do that. So poll panel has to hold election of vice president immediately. So again, Vice President Dhankar sir, something is going on with him. He is not happy, maybe, or maybe health issues. We don't know why he resigned and why he did what he did. But now vice president election has to happen. And I think Ankit sir, he made a video on it. So you people must have watched it. Even if you haven't, there are certain terms which we have to understand. Proportional representation by single transferable vote. What is single transferable vote? What does it mean? You know, what is a returning officer? So there are certain keywords which we have to understand. What is the basic difference between election of president and election of vice president? Who are the people who are involved in the election of president and vice president? Are they the same people or are they different? Hello, Mamta. So let's have a look at this. So why do you think Jagdeep Dhankar sir resigned? Do you think this is a health issue, or do you think he was not very happy with? So Vice President sir, Jagdeep Dhankar sir, he resigned as vice. Again, you can see here. And this is a rare midterm vacancy. This has very rarely happened that somebody resigned. Maybe if you died, it's fine. Or maybe you wanted to become president or you became president, then you resign. This is a very rare occurrence. So people are saying something is going on. Oh my God. So immediate election required now. This post has to be filled. Please understand one thing. Unlike president election, where you only elected MPs and MLAs, they participate. So elected MPs of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, elected MLAs of states and UTs having legislature, they participate. In the case of vice president, there is no elected collected. Both elected and nominated MPs can participate. MLA, they don't participate in VP election. I will give you an easy example. Sachin Tendulkar, he was a Rajya Sabha MP, but he was a nominated MP. So Sachin Tendulkar could have participated in the election of vice president. He could have cast his vote, but he could not have done that in the case of president election. So please remember this. You will understand this once we have done this election. Please don't say, oh my God. No, Ravindra, that I have to do, you know. Nature and signature don't change. So I have to do that. There are many people who come to attend my class, Ravindra, because of that, oh my God, only, you know. It has its own fan base. Sorry, Ravindra, I cannot do that. Okay, let's focus here. So immediate election, again, you see this. Term and continuity. Vice President hold office for 5 years. They can give you this. They hold office for 6 years, 7 years, 5 years. But it doesn't mean if the 5 year is completed, next day he will be leaving the job. No. If there is no successor, election is taking its own sweet time, he will remain until a successor takes charge. So 5 year or till the time a successor takes charge. Cool. Yes. Where were we? No succession provision. The constitution does not provide for any succession method in case of resignation. Again, an election has to happen. That's what this article is saying. Then there are certain keywords which we have to understand. Single transferable vote. When I used to prepare and I used to, you know, see this vice president, president election, single transferable vote, I always found it very difficult to understand. So we have to understand that. Okay, thank you. So temporary Rajya Sabha leadership. In the absence of vice president, the deputy chairman, he will conduct proceedings. Fine. Electoral college. Now this is the part which we have to focus on. Very important, because you have to do compare and contrast here. Vice president election, how it is different from president election. You know, this is smart study. PM, study CM, parliament, study state legislature, president, study governor. So here, vice president election, study president election. So vice president, as we have discussed, elected and nominated members of Parliament, MPs. Only MPs are involved here. Only MPs. Irrespective of whether they are elected or nominated. Vice president means president, that is not the case. So if you want to become a president, elected and members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, elected, not nominated. Sachin Tendulkar cannot vote. He can vote here. Also legislature, MLAs. But what happens in president election? MPs, all elected MPs of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they have same vote, like say they have same, what should I call it? Same power, same voting number, but it varies for state to state. Like MLA of Bihar, he will not have the same voting or numerical value as, let's say, the MLA of Assam. MLA of Bihar, elected MLA of Bihar, he will have more numerical value compared to elected MLA of Assam because population of Bihar is larger than Assam. So that varies in a president election, and I'm telling you all these things because UPSC has already asked PYQs on all these things. Yes, where were we? So voting freedom. Members of electoral college can vote freely. Party whip is not binding. What is party whip? So party whip means generally, you know, there are someone called as Dabang leaders. In Dabang means, you know, Salman Khan of every political party. They will issue whip that you have to vote to this particular member, to other members of their political party. It has to be followed. That is not required in VP election. They can vote. People can vote. They have their own free will. So, nomination rules. Now, here again, there are certain words. What is a proposer? What is a seconder? Proposer means I am proposing the name of Hannah, that I like the name Hannah, and value, exactly. So, I am proposing the name of Hannah as the next president. So, now if Shahida is like, yes, I also like Hannah. So, I will be the proposer, Shahida will be the seconder. She is supporting who I am proposing. So, proposer and seconder. 20-20. In the case of president, it has to be 50-50. 50 proposer, 50 seconder. That's how you do comparative analysis. Again, it must be submitted. This is not important. Security deposit for both are same. 15,000 for president and vice president. Cool. Returning officer. Who is a returning officer? Who will conduct election? Secretary General of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha on a rotating basis. Cool. Election method. Now comes the tricky words. Article 66. They can ask you, election of vice president is carried out according to which article of constitution? You have to remember it. Article 66. Second point. What is a single transferable vote? I will teach you this via an example. You will understand each and everything. Proportional representation. And then there is something which you have to read at the same time, FPTP. First past the post system. So in Lok Sabha election, you have the first past the post system. What is first past the post system? 100 votes were, 100 votes were given in a particular village. People, 100 votes. And the person A, he got 20 votes. And if all the other candidates got lesser than 20 votes, even then, like, he will win. Doesn't matter, he did not get the vote or the 80 remaining votes. He has got only 20 votes out of 100 votes, but other people have got lesser votes than him. He is the winner. This is first past the post system. So now there are many people who say that in India for Lok Sabha, Legislative Assembly, we have this FPTP system. It undermines minorities. The 80 votes got ignored, and minority voice gets ignored, and that's why there are some political parties which target majority religion, because we have FPTP in Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly, because they know if they target majority religion, doesn't matter what minorities are thinking, they will always win. So currently, Law Commission, they're having talks that even for Lok Sabha and Legislative Assemblies, we should have a mix of proportional representation and FPTP. What happens in proportional representation system? So in this scenario, FPTP, there can be a scenario that a particular political party, they got only 36% vote, but they formed the government. They got more than 50% seat. These kind of things happen in FPTP. A minority voices are undermined. And in proportional representation, if a political party, let's say Congress, got 36% votes, they will get 36% seats. So it's all like how much percentage of votes you are getting, that much percentage of seats you will get. But if you feel like proportional representation is awesome, why did our founding fathers of constitution did not adopt it? Because it's tricky, it's complicated. At the time of independence, our literacy rate was very low. So we went ahead with FPTP. Now that is not the case. We are literate enough. We know things. So Law Commission and other people, they're talking about whether we should have a mix of FPTP or proportional representation. What is your view? Should we have a mix of FPTP and proportional representation so that minority voices are not undermined? Or do you feel like, sir, we should continue with FPTP? Because majority Voices are the only voices which matter. Oh my God. No. So now, proportional representation, you understood. What is single transferable vote? You will understand. I will give you an example. Voting is by secret ballot. Secret ballot means nobody will know who I voted for. Oh my God. Okay. So unlike the presidential election, each vote has equal value again. Winning criteria must secure 50%. Now let's try to understand this term. Single transferable vote. What is the basic meaning of single transferable vote? Let's take an example. See this. So 100 MPs are voting for vice presidential election. Now a person who has to win, there will be candidates who will be fighting. He has to get 51 votes. Cool. So now let's say three candidates appeared, A, B and C. So now here what will happen? Let's say I am an MP. I can give my preference, ABC, who is my first preference, second preference and third preference. So based on that, first preference of all these three candidates will be counted out. 40, 35, 25. Nobody has got more than 50 first preference. So the person who is getting the least, he will be removed. C will be removed. So he was the first preference of 25 MPs. Now it will be seen those 25 MPs, what were their second preference. No one has 51. You can see here 40, 35, 25. So candidate C is eliminated and their 25 votes are checked for second preference. These people, 25 MPs who has C as their first preference, what was their second preference? So now the second preference will be added among them, this A and B. If now somebody exceeds 50 plus, he will win. So let's see here. If most of C's second preference goes to A and A crosses 51, A wins. If they go to B, B crosses 51, B wins. This is transferable vote. So the person who is getting eliminated, his vote is getting transferred to the people who are still in the fray. That is single transferable vote. Applying in large area can be tricky. PR is good, sir. Mixture of both. So did you understand what is single transferable vote? Yes, sir. That will be combined. Because it's very tricky, so even politicians also don't know this what to do. His vote will be transferred to him. Please, Saran ma'am, did you understand single transferable vote? What is the basic meaning here? Let's solve this question. So electoral, very good. Shayada, Liliana, Anandu, Shriparna, Prithvi, Madhavi, Rajni, Shayada, Shashmita, Venkat. Venkat is a very good girl, boy rather. So Shayada, Shashmita, Venkat, Jeevayan, Anandu, Rishi, Nitin, Evangeline, Hannah, Liliana, Malini, Shriparna, Mamta, Prithvi, all of you have answered it. So electoral college for election of vice president consists of, unlike president, it consists of only MPs, both elected and nominated. So elected and nominated members of both Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, as stated by all of you. You people are so good, just like a wow. MCQ 8. Consider the following statements about Electoral College of President of India. So we have done a comparative analysis of both vice president and president. Have a look at this. Very good here. Very good, Prithvi, Mamta, Anuj, Rajneesh, Madhavi, Kharbadon, Danish, Vinchappu. Oh my God, I so love Vinchappu and Kharbadon. MCQ 8. Consider the following statement about the Electoral College of President. Nominated members of Parliament are part of Electoral College. Elected members of state legislative assemblies are included. The value of an MLA vote is equal across all states. This is a tricky question. Oh my God. Now there is a homework for you. Solve that PYQ, UPSC PYQ, which was based on the value of president, MPs and MLAs vote value in presidential election. Solve that PYQ. So Shashmita, Evangeline, Liliana, Shipana, Jiva, and Evangeline again, Shayada, Rishi, Venkat, Hannah, Madhavi, Vijay, Anandu. So nominated members of parliament, they are not part of president election, unlike vice president election. So, this is actually a tough question, bro. I have made it like this. So this is tough. I can understand why you people were so slow. So elected members of state legislative assemblies, they are included. So second is correct, right? So that's it. There is only one second, 2 only. So D is the answer, 2 only. Value of MLA vote varies from state to state because population, it depends upon population. The states which has higher population, they have more value of a MLA vote, elected MLA vote in presidential election. So the answer is D, 2 only. Oh my God. So all of you, many of you answered D. D. 2 only. 2 only is there in the D option. So D is the answer. See, this is a tricky question because of the way I framed it. So again, this is a very interesting question to tell you that sometimes question will not be wrong. Sometimes how they frame options become like that makes the question tougher. Like I will give you another example. Partition of Bengal. When did it happen? So if they give you a question like 1905, 1915, 1925, 1935, so this question becomes easier. You can solve it. But let's say I asked you partition of Bengal. When did it happen? 16 July 1905, 17 July. This is just a hypothetical date. 18 July, 19 July. So sometimes it's not the question which makes it tougher. Sometimes it's how they frame the option that makes actually the question tougher. So hope you understood this. So this question is tougher because of the way the options are being framed. So now let's move on to the next article of the day, 1905. What about the other part of the question which I asked? So yeah. So India-US trade deal deadlock continues over agriculture. So now India and US, they are talking about trade deal. So we have talked about this, mini deal and this and that. So there are two bone of contentions which we have to understand. US is not very happy with our agricultural policies and the subsidies which we provide to our farmers. That has been a bone of contention in WTO also. Green box, blue box, amber box. We'll talk about those box later on. Right now we are talking about some small things here. So US is not happy with the agriculture subsidies which we are giving to farmer. They want India to open our agriculture market for them or their companies. We don't want to do that rather, because that will kill our vulnerable farming population. We have talked about this. 86% farmers in India are small and marginal farmers owning less than 2 hectares of land. So if we open this farming community of agriculture market to big US companies, obviously they will be killed. Who will be buying their products? So we have our own grievances. So this is US grievance against us. What is our grievance against US? Now they have started imposing lots of import duty, or when our automobile and their goods they goes two-wheeler, four-wheeler, they are charging a lot of tax or tariff on them, making our two-wheeler and four-wheeler very expensive in US to protect their two-wheeler and four-wheeler industry. So you can understand the conundrum of both countries. US not happy with our agriculture policy, we are not happy with their automobile and the duties which they are imposing on our automobile products. So we have to resolve our differences. That's what this article is saying. We have to, via this article, we have to solve some questions, and where there are different terms which are involved. What is mini deal? We have talked about mini deal. So there will be, there is something known as, you will understand, let's first go through it. August 1 is a deadline. India and US, they're talking about different things. Trump has imposed so much tariff even on Indian goods. China is another case altogether, and we want to resolve it at the earliest, and that's what we are trying to do. But agriculture is becoming a major hurdle. US is not having these trade talks only with us, they are also having talks with EU and Japan. So if India opens its agricultural market for US can take this as an example and put it in front of EU and Japan that, see, India has opened its agriculture market for us, you do the same. But we don't want to do that, and US is very much persistent that we do that. So let's see where it goes. Ideally we will not be opening our agriculture market, we know it, but let's see. So Indian negotiators have returned from US after presenting India's final offer. It is not up to US. Now Trump is such an unpredictable man that these people, they have some talks, and this has happened with him in other countries. He will announce some deal which they did not even talked about. That is known as mini deal. Mini deal is, it's not like a full bilateral trade agreement deal. It's just we are agreeing on certain points. And sometimes, let's say they talked and agreed on A term, he will say that we will agree on B term. And he's a president. He should not be saying like this. It doesn't look cool, but he does that. Maybe because he's too old. Don't remember the month. It was just you give more money to the farmers, but looks like low percentage of subsidy. Agreed. Cool. So now again you can see all these things. So we have presented our offer. Let's see whether US accept or reject it. There has been no consensus on agriculture. Agriculture has always been a bone of contention between India and agriculture, means India and US. And not only agriculture, patent is another issue. Or patenting of drugs and pharmaceuticals. Their companies like Novartis, they make drugs, medicines, and Novartis offices in Hyderabad, in a high-tech city. I was there. So, and they invest a lot of money. Then we do something known as, there is a provision which is allowed under TRIPS, trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights, where we make generic versions of those expensive medicine and provide it at a very cheaper price to African countries also. So apart from agriculture, drug and patent is another issue which keeps on going between India and US. So keep it in mind. Yeah. So strategic concern for US. US is concerned that excluding agriculture from the India deal could weaken its negotiating position with EU and Japan. They cannot set India as an example in front of them that India has opened agriculture market. You too also do the same. India's broader focus. Now there are certain terms here. Bilateral trade agreement, mini deal. So bilateral trade agreement is a comprehensive agreement covering many aspects, you know. Mini deal is just like we have certain issues, we have to finalize this. These are immediate issues. Let's finalize this, and the other issues we'll talk about it some other time. So that is mini deal. Now again, Trump is so unpredictable that Indian officials are not ruling out a sudden announcement by US President Donald Trump. He's like a credit monger, or, you know, I stopped India Pakistan, or I did this and that. He's not the only leader. Many leaders in the world are currently like that. Similar to what happened with Indonesia and Vietnam. So he will announce something which they did not talk about, and nobody will say anything because he's the president of US, you know. So in those cases, deals were announced by Trump that differed from what negotiators had agreed upon. Maybe here he will say that India has opened their agricultural market, and then we will be, what you can say, we'll be releasing these things that no, this is not the truth, this is not the reality. Like we are currently saying that Donald Trump did not mediate between India and Pakistan when it comes to the war between us. That happened. What is your view on that? If you have any, post it in the comment section. So from India's side, agriculture, dairy access remains issue, like, you know, and from US side, reluctance to reduce import duties on automotive components. So they are not doing that. Negotiation dynamics, again, you can see all these things. So these things will happen. Now let's see what kind of questions can be asked to you. See this question: a bilateral trade agreement differs from a mini deal in which of the following ways? Try to use option elimination here. Give Nobel Prize to Trump. Exactly, GYN. Oh my God. BTA is a full-scale trade agreement covering multiple sectors. Mini deals are usually temporary and focus on urgent trade issues. BTA is always multilateral in nature. Mamta. Chepandi is fast. So Mamta, Shriparna, Hannah, Evangeline, Madhvi, Rishi, Shayada, Shashmita. So let's say bilateral. When we say bilateral, it means two countries are involved. Look at option third. BTA is always multilateral in nature. Multilateral means multiple countries are involved. Then why we will call it BTA, bro? So eliminate third option. I told you go for option elimination. Even if you don't know anything about BTA and mini deals, if you just know bilateral means bi means 2, tri means 3, quad means 4. Oh my God. That would solve this question, right? So the answer is A1 and 2. So don't worry too much. Read all the options. This will happen in UPSC also. MCQ 10. BTA, mini deal, tariff, import, quota. These words we keep on hearing about it. These terms are important. So let's try to solve this question. Very good, Mamta. So Bishwas, Liliana, Shashmita, Jeevayan, Hannah, Rajneesh, Rishi, Prithvi, Evangeline, Srinivas, Shayada, Mamta, all of you have given the answer. Let me see whether I can give you the answer of this question or not, or this is a homework. No, I can give you the answer of this question. Oh my God, there is another article still left. What are you people doing? Wasting so much time. No, I'm just kidding. That work is of mine, wasting time. So BTA, it's a comprehensive bilateral agreement that like across sector, right? Mini deal is what? A sudden limited trade pact focusing on key sector A to B1. If A to B1 is there, the answer is A. What is tariff? Tariff is tax imposed on imported goods. So I am imposing some tax, thereby increasing the price of that imported good. Import quota. Whenever there is quota, that means I am telling that I can only allow 80 kg of rice from America or 60 kg of rice from Canada. Quota. I am putting a limit on how much goods can be brought from another country. Limit on the quantity of goods. This is not about tax. When there is quota, it's not about tax. It's about quantity. So do remember these words: tariff, quota, how they are different from each other. Quota factory. Very good. So the answer is A, as stated by so many of you. Who stated it? Shriparna, Liliana, Sasmita, Jeeva, and Hannah, Rajneesh. Very good. Rishi, Prithvi, Evangeline, Srinivas, Shaida, Mamta, Danesh, Anuj, Mahadvi. You people are so good, just like a wow. Page number 14. In over 90% of sewer deaths, worker had no safety gear. Now there are certain words. Tell me one thing. Manual scavengers and septic tank cleaners. As you can see, there is a man who is going inside septic tank cleaning. You know, you do potty, etc. and all those stuff. They go inside the septic tank, and these are the people who clean it. So my question here is, manual scavengers and septic tank cleaners, are they the same people or no? If there is any difference, please tell me. Now this is important. The government has also launched a scheme to deal with these people, vulnerable people, that is known as Namaste scheme. Now what are the different ministries which are involved in this Namaste scheme? All these things are very important from exam perspective. So to tell you the fact, the question which I asked you right now, many people feel like manual scavengers and these sewage cleaners, they are the same people. Septic tank cleaners, they are not. They are not. They are different. Manual scavenger is what? The people who are, let's say, directly removing latrine, etc. from dry latrines and all. Hope you have seen. If you have seen Slumdog Millionaire, you will understand what I'm saying. What is dry latrine? I have to use these words when I'm talking about this. Dry latrine means, if you have seen Slumdog Millionaire, I'm doing potty that is going somewhere inside. I'm not using water to flush it down. Manual scavengers, they are manually, holding those things and removing it. Those are manual scavengers. Septic tank cleaners, they become manual scavengers if they're manually doing it. But if they're using machines to clean these septic tanks, they are not manual scavengers. So please understand this. Not all septic tank cleaners are manual scavengers. Manual scavengers is illegal. Government has abolished it. Septic tank cleaners, it's still allowed, but they have to use machines when they are using septic tanks. But the irony is they are majorly not using machines. They are themselves going like this, and it has methane, sulfide gases, so many poisonous gases, and people die because of it. Most of these manual scavengers or septic tank cleaners, they belong to SC community, scheduled caste community, according to Safai Karmchari Andolan. UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it, which is known as Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan, and I think National Rehabilitation Program. That is related to these manual scavengers. They are not the same. Manual scavenger and septic tank cleaners. And government has brought this particular Namaste scheme to take care of these septic tank cleaners. And these are the words which are very important from exam perspective. It looks similar, different. And again, this whole fact that these manual scavengers, septic tank cleaners, they belong to SC community is used as an evidence that why reservation is needed in our country on social basis and not economy basis. We keep on talking about this is bad, reservation is bad. I'm not saying it is good or bad. I'm just saying when you are giving it on social criteria, this is one of the reasons. Not Brahman or Pandits are manual scavenger or septic tank cleaners. I am a Brahman, I am a Pandit, so don't kill me in the comment section. Most of these manual scavengers are SC community, and that's why they need reservation, so that they get out of this job and they do something better for their family and descendants. Okay, so lack of safety gear. 90% of workers who died during sewer cleaning did not have any PPE kit, personal protective equipment kit, or safety gear. And that is what is happening. More or less, our septic tank cleaners, they are manual scavenger only, which is actually not correct because manual scavenging has been banned by government. And you can see all these facts. 49 out of 54 examined deaths, no safety equipment was worn. And sometimes they don't even know what will be the implications. They have no idea about the gases which will be released, poisonous gases, etc. Cool. And you can see all these things. I'm not reading the data. This is just telling you how vulnerable SC community is. Again, I'm not saying about reservation, bro. This is one point which you'll be writing in your exam. Why reservation is needed. There are certain menial jobs which are done by this community, and that's why reservation was initially announced on the criteria of social inequality, institutional failures. In 45 days means death. There was no equipment readiness. What we were discussing, what is the basic difference between manual scavengers and septic tank cleaners? Septic tank cleaners, they will not do this work manually, this cleaning of septic tank. They will use mechanized equipment. More often than not, we don't have it. Then there's no difference between septic tank cleaners and manual scavengers, and this is wrong. Government should be made accountable for it. You are the ones who are responsible for providing these mechanized equipments. Cool. So awareness campaigns, again you can see here, no consent was taken, like many people were not even aware what are the risks involved if we are going inside and doing the septic tank cleaning. Parliamentary disclosure, where do we know about all these data? See, there was a question which was asked, and this whole thing was debated in Lok Sabha. Government response, government is saying that we have launched Namaste scheme to take care of these vulnerable septic tank cleaner. And what is the full form of Namaste scheme? And this is Namaste scheme is important actually. National action plan for mechanized sanitation ecosystem. As you can see the word here, sanitation and septic tank cleaning, but mechanized. Do you have machine? No. Then why are you making these schemes just like that? So again, these things happen in our country. What can you do? Now, what is important from exam perspective? When was it launched? Which ministries are involved? It's not a work of single ministry. In fact, if you go to Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, you will see it on their website. But when you go to PIB, Press Information Bureau, you will realize that multiple ministries are involved in Namaste scheme. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, as well as Mahua, who is the brother of Nirahua Rickshawala, which is one of your favorite movies. Okay, so Mahua and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, they are involved in this Namaste scheme. Remember it. And they don't have dignity of their work, sir. Exactly, Jivayan. So again, you can see all these things and what is the basic purpose. Again, this is just for Bol Bachchan stuff. From exam perspective, Namaste scheme, when was it launched, which ministries are involved to improve the condition of sanitation workers and these manual scavengers and septic tank cleaners. And the basic thing was, what is the basic difference between scavengers and septic tank cleaner? Cool. Now let's focus on MCQ 11. Chepandis. Which of the following best describes the difference between manual scavenging and septic tank cleaning? Manual scavenging uses machine while septic tank cleaning is manual. Manual scavenging is legal, septic tank cleaning is banned. Manual scavenging involves raw human excreta and dry latrines, while septic tank cleaning involves mechanized cleaning of sewer systems. Okay, so you people have answered it. Shashmita, Hannah, Srinivas, Mamta, Rajneesh, Liliana, Anandu, Anuj, Venkat, Shiparna, Rishi, Jiva, and Malini, Vinchapu. Cool. So I don't know the answer. This is a homework for you. You people think about it again. MCQ 12. In the election of Vice President of India, which of the following voting method is used? First past the post, proportional representation by single transferable vote. Question number 12. And Chepandi is fast. Very good, Jivayan, Malini, Vinchapu, Yukta, Prithvi, Madhvi, Danish, Shiparna. Shiparna has given the answer for 12th. Shiparna, Evangeline, Malini, Hannah, Mamta, Liliana, Venkat, Prithvi, Srinivas, Shashmita, Rishi, Madhvi, Jiva, and Vinchapu, Anandu, Anuj. Very good. I don't know the answer. This is the homework. Question number 13. Which of the following statement correctly differentiate between the election of President and Vice President of India? Dwivedi has answered it. Shashmita is from Odisha. Shiparna, Venkat, Rishi, Hannah, Mamta. Very good. I don't know whether it is very good or very bad. So I will share the answer of 11, 12 and 13th question tomorrow in tomorrow's Hindu analysis. You people can think about it again and post it in the comment section. If you feel like I added anything to your knowledge base, like, share, subscribe, kill it. Chepandis. Chepandis means kill it. And I will share this particular PDF along with the answer of the questions which we have discussed in my Telegram channel Fun Study with Shubh by 10:30 a.m. Before that, I will try to do that and I will do that. Very good. And one more thing, Saran ma'am, we were talking about UPSC optional. If you like, what is your optional? What have you decided? People, yes, thank you, Venkat. What is your optional? Have you decided on your optional, UPSC optional? It carries 500 marks in your UPSC mains exam out of 1750 marks. Only solving prelims question, this and that will not do. You have to also study your mains optional, which is of the level of post graduation. So what is your optional? Whatever is your optional, please start preparing for it. Doesn't matter, irrespective of which particular year you are preparing for, be it 26, 27, 28. If you don't prepare for your optional, you know, this will become a Panchvarshiya Yojana for you, 5-year plan. So please, sir, prepare for your optional. Bros, I'm asking something. PSIR is Madhvi's optional. Day by day connected with us. Yes, thank you, Jivayan. So the point here is, the point which I'm trying to tell you here is that please, sir, focus on your optional, and whatever is your optional, if you're preparing for it wholeheartedly, awesome. If you're facing any issue, you can see, you can again go to StudyIQ.com, and here there is UPSC optional. You can see all these optionals. Based on which particular optional you're preparing for, you can join any of these batches. Prices will increase after 31st July. Shashank Tyagi sir, he's taking PSIR. Bhuvan sir, he's a cutie pie. I talk to him a lot. So he's taking geography. You know, Chanel sir is taking history and other. Like you can see, there are so many subjects. Agriculture, maths, pub ad, philosophy, economics, law. Oh my God. So based on what you are preparing for, do you need help or not? You can join any of these batches. And let's say if I take the example of, where is this? Bhuvan sir's geography optional. So you will go here, 24,999 discount valid till 31st July. My code is applicable for any of the course which you are taking. And Platinum Gold, you can see the features. You can call on this number 764000300 for any queries on optional courses. You can enter my coupon code. Let's say you applied SHS Live. Apply. So prices of Platinum reduced by 7,000, Gold will reduce by again 7,000. So please, sir, don't ignore your optional. Your optional will make or break your preparation. You know, ideally what should happen if you're preparing for 26 or 27, you take like GS P2I batch and one optional batch and you prepare both of them concurrently. By January of next year, complete your optional, complete maximum portion of your GS, and then from February onwards, full on go into the pre mode. Anyway, your pre plus mains mode is going on when you're doing these Hindu analysis Indian Express. At the same time, you have to do your optional and you have to do your optional is the main thing. You have to do your optional and you cannot ignore it. Cool, cool, cool. So, history. Sumer has history. Evangeline has maths, PSIR. Please, sir, don't ignore your optional. Very important. So, I've told you, whatever way you want to cover your optional, cover your optional. Start doing it now. This is the right time. Even people who are writing this year means they're preparing or studying their optional. But most of our people who are writing 26, 27 or 28, you know, UPSC, please cover your optional. You have to do it multiple number of times. Once you will cover it, then you will have two files, paper 1, paper 2, and you will revise it multiple number of times. So please don't ignore your optional. Theek hai, sir. So I will see you people tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm going now. Go, go, gone. Take care. Be blessed. Tata. Bye, bye. Thank you, everyone.